Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just about 10:15 in Honolulu, 4:15 in New York on Thursday, April 28th, 2016, and this is the Daily Report for Gold and Silver. We have a strong upside rally taking place in the precious metals markets across the board. Gold currently trading up almost 2%, 1.75%, putting it up about $22 on the day. It's traded to a low of 1237.97, so call it 1238, and the high 1269 and change. So we're just a couple of dollars off the high, and as I said, we are trading up $22 on the day. We do have open positions in both gold and silver, and of course we'll talk about them when we pull up our first chart. Silver also trading higher. Now silver, in terms of a percentage change or gain, is up over 2% on the day, 2.14%, trading roughly at 1760 on the day, the low 1750.15 and the high 1763. And as I said, we're currently trading up in excess of 30 cents on the day. Let's take a look at our first chart. So the first chart that I do want to take a look at on today's show is a half-a-day chart, standard candlestick format. We have been really in the midst of a tight consolidation in the market, and we certainly were under the belief that this market, as it traded through its range, because it had a basic characteristic of lower highs and higher lows, that we were in the midst of a compression triangle. We actually bought the market when it broke right at this point, and we put our stops below 1222. And the rationale for that, as I explained last week, was that if the market was in fact going to go down for one final leg of this compression triangle before hitting what we call our thrust, then I certainly did not want to be stopped out and then be correct about the basic pattern of it, but getting in a little bit early, because we did get in on the breakout, but the breakout was invalidated. Now that we have the market well above this point and we have weathered our stop, I feel as though it is quite likely that this wave 2 that we have been experiencing could in fact be over. And I feel like the boy that cried wolf, because I've said that before and it didn't really pan out. So we'll have to see. But all indications are, with this type of a breakout today, that there's a genuine opportunity right now that what we are looking at is a solid breakout that will take us above $1,300 per ounce in gold. So I also want to take a look at what we call the big picture. This is a daily chart, and I have really uncompressed it so we can take a look at what we're witnessing right now. Of course, my sense is, and this of course is our minor count, I call it a sub count sometimes, but our minor count, in which we had the completion of this A with a 5 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I believe that we have now gone into a B wave. On that B wave, whether we go A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got our wave 1, our compression triangle, which gives us our wave 2, and the possibility now exists that we are in our wave 3, a third wave. Now, if that is the case, where can we look for this market to go to? Well, we have the top at 1288, so we want to see if the market continues to trade higher, exactly what kind of resistance it finds there. And then just above that is going to be the most recent top, and that is this top that came in about a year ago, was the high for last year, this being 2015 in February. Market's trading under pressure. It's at a low. Now, the low is not as low as what was achieved, of course, at the end of last year, beginning of this, but it was at a low point and then traded to the absolute high of the year and then meandered lower throughout the rest of the year. Now, that being said, we could be looking at a scenario where we've got a 1, a 2, and we're now in a third wave. And that's kind of what I believe we could see unfold. And so traders, what about silver? Of course, we're long positions in gold, we're long positions in silver, and we haven't really been involved with the precious white metal for some time. And that was because we saw it really under so much pressure that I didn't feel as though the opportunities and the prospect for profitability were as great in gold. That absolutely shifted when we saw throughout the beginning of this year, really a rounded bottom. Let me get a different pointer, but we absolutely got this rounded bottom. Market then comes up and then consolidates in this area, but this major breakout here. Now, we are looking at, I believe this is a weekly chart. In fact, I'm sure that it's a weekly chart. But over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, we have seen this market just climb and really take on a momentum that just wasn't there in any of the other precious metals markets. Now, we have identified real strong support at about 1650, call it, and there's some potential resistance right now. The first level is 50%, which comes in at 1759. Market closes at 1756, so just below that. I'm assuming that we should be able to break through this particular spot. First of all, 50% is not a very, very strong fib number. It's a number that was actually added to fib retracements by stock traders. It's 61% where you really look for some real strength, because that's your fib number right there. But if we are able to make it above this particular price point, that's our first obstacle, but I believe it's a small one. My target for this particular trade is actually above $18, because I think in between these two areas, there really isn't any technical data that is showing us an area where the market might stall. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. Maintain your long position in gold. Maintain your stop. Do the same with silver. Maintain your long position as well as stop. We'll look to tighten those stops later on, whether we do it tomorrow. If not, we will do it at some point beginning of next week. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the weekly review. Bye-bye.